Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu unserer 13. Online-Weinprobe. Und netterweise hat sich das Wetter unseren Planungen angepasst und es wird eine sehr schöne frühlingshafte Weinprobe. Wir sind heute verbunden mit Antonio Monteiro aus Portugal vom Weingut Quinta das Arcas und wir hoffentlich ins wärmere Portugal. Nein, noch wärmer ist es da gerade nicht. Ich glaube, die haben gerade das schlechtere Wetter. Aber ich freue mich sehr auf Antonio und die leckeren Weine von dort. Herzlich willkommen, Antonio.
Hello, everyone.
Hallo, guten
Thank you
Abend.
for having me.
Yeah, welcome to us in Hannover and around Germany. We have some of the boxes sent out through Germany, so there are some listeners not only in Hanover but all over Germany.
Very well.
So tell us a little bit about your winery and how the weather is in Portugal.
Oh, right now is winter. We have now we have a very windy days and a lot of rain because here and like you can see in the map, this where we are is very close to the ocean. So there's a strong maritime influence where we are, and it's the weather it's very influenced by this. So it rains a lot here, and we are right in the season where we get the most of the rain. Usually until April, we still get a lot of rain, and then the weather starts to get warmer until the summer. But also in this region is interesting because even in the summer, when in inland of Portugal is very warm, here we have the winds from the Atlantic that cool down this area. So even in the summer, the temperatures are very mild.
Which is nice.
Yes, and it's one of the main characteristics and that shapes the Vinho Verde and to make it the way it is in this area.
So shall we first to the first wine into the glass so everybody can toast and we tell a little bit about the region later? I will translate first. Hat gerade erzählt, die Gegend, in der sie sind, hat sehr mildes Wetter im Vergleich zum Rest von Portugal. Es wird nicht so heiß, weil der Ozean halt sehr kühle Brisen reinbringt. Aber im Moment ist das Wetter sehr schlecht. Es ist wie heißt es? Es ist Winter und sie haben viel Regen. Eigentlich der Hauptteil des Regens pro Jahr passiert jetzt im Winter. Und wir fangen einfach mal an mit dem ersten Weißwein. So we start with the first white. And I have the great pleasure to have a secret wine elf who fills my glass, which is very convenient.
Yes, I don't have a glass. I have a bottle. But you want me to say some words about this wine?
Yes, which grapes are in it?
So this wine is made from Vinhozinho, Gouveia, Rabigato, and Malvasia Fina. This is a blend of four different grapes, which is a blend that is common for white wines from the Douro. It's a very good balanced wine with a really a nice aromatics in the nose. And the Douro is and this wine is also like that. It's known to have like this good body, you know, has this good presence, but also with the aromatics. It's normal from a warm climate. You have this tropical fruit, but at the same time, and because we are talking about the Douro region, we have high elevation. We have also good acidity that really balances all this the alcohol and the fruit from the wine.
Can you say the grapes again? I remember Vinho.
Vinhozinho,
Vinhozinho.
Gouveio,
okay, I remember that one.
Rabigato,
okay, that's one I don't know. And yes. I know some of the Portuguese grapes because I think compared to Germany, Portugal has about like 4 times the sorts of grapes than we have. I think Germany has like 150 different grapes, and I think Portugal has about 600 different grapes.
A little bit less.
Maybe a little bit less.
Several opinions. But what happens in Portugal is that some people in the Douro call it one name, and in other region is a different name. So, so if it's like that, there's probably 600. But in terms of genetics and identified, it's around a little bit over 250.
Okay. So Germany was a little bit more boring. We just have Riesling, and you have lots of different names for the same grape.
Exactly. Just to make it more fun.
Let me quickly translate this. Im Glas habt ihr den Dona Cepa und das ist ein Wein aus 4 Rebsorten. Vinhozinho, Gouveio, Rabigato and
Malvasia fina.
Malvasia fina. Das sind sehr typische Rebsorten aus der Gegend des Douro, wo der Wein herkommt. Wir haben gerade festgestellt, das war ein sehr schöner Witz, den ihr leider verpasst habt, dass Portugal sehr viel kreativer ist, was die Namensgebung angeht von Rebsorten. Da hat nämlich quasi jede Gemeinde einen anderen Namen für die gleiche Rebsorte, während wir haben halt nur Riesling und Riesling. Das ist halt... da sind die Portugiesen ein bisschen kreativer gewesen. Also die Meinungen gehen ein bisschen auseinander, wie viele verschiedene Rebsorten sie jetzt haben, aber durch die genetischen Untersuchungen haben sie inzwischen rausgefunden, dass es ungefähr 280 verschiedene sind, während wir eher so nur 150 haben in Deutschland. Wie gesagt, 70% Riesling, da bleibt nicht mehr so viel Platz für andere Rebsorten. Von daher sage ich jetzt nochmal ein herzliches Willkommen und wir starten einfach nochmal ein bisschen weiter mit dem Dona Cepa und hoffen, dass wir diese technische Panne damit quasi ausradieren können. Und ich sage auch nochmal Hallo und danke an den Chat, dass ihr das gleich gemeldet habt. Okay, so I gave a little bit wrap up about the wine and now you said something about freshness and exotic fruits, right?
Mm-hmm, correct. So and this is given to us by the grape varietals and also by where the wine is made from its origin. So this wine is in the Douro region, so it's inland Portugal. Mm-hmm. It's protected from the winds, the cold winds from the ocean. So it's very warm during the ripening season of the grapes. So here we have a very good ripening and gives this tropical fruit to the wine, and the freshness, the acidity is given to us by the altitude, also the grape varietals. And this contributes very largely to the balance of the wine.
Mhm. Also der Wein kommt ein bisschen aus dem Inland, also aus dem Douro. Und die Traubensorten machen halt eine schöne exotische Note, aber gleichzeitig, also der Ausgleich zwischen der Frucht und der Säure kommt halt durch die Wärme am Tag und durch die Frische in der Nacht. Dadurch gleicht sich das so ein bisschen aus, dass die Säure gut gegensteuert gegen die Fruchtigkeit. I hope I translated that right.
I'm sure you did.
It's a nice wine for like higher temperatures, you know, when the summer comes and you can sit outside and be on the terrace and have some more easiness. So,
yes.
Which foods would you recommend to this wine?
It's this wine. I would recommend any sort of food that pairs well with the white wine, because it has a nice is dry. So here we would always I can think immediately of seafood, I can think about some salads. I can think about some soft cheese. It's this wine really goes even with some meats. If we are thinking about some like some chicken with some spiciness, some curry, some Asian food also, it would handle this wine. It would balance really well. But I can recommend that practically with any any white wine. Why this one in particular? I think that the Malvasia Fina gives it a little bit more aromatics in the more to the honey side of the aromas, to this waxy bee side, and is very nice to pair it with some more exotic flavors.
I can imagine. Maybe even sushi.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Also Essen geht eigentlich fast alles. Von gegrillten Gemüse, asiatischem Essen, Curry, funktioniert eigentlich fast alles zu diesem Wein. Ich muss sagen, ich finde ihn sehr schön rund und ich finde auch den Duft, diese leichte Exotik in der Nase sehr, sehr schön. So, if you go back to the winery, this is a wine that is kind of new in your list, as far as I remember. I have it for the first time now in my shop.
So we just started this new project in the Douro. We have a partner there near Régua, where we are working very close. In fact, we are bottling the 2020 next week. So it's we are expecting also a very good vintage this year. It was a very I don't like to call it special, but a very different year for everyone. But the wines came out in a very good way. I mean, all across the regions that we work, we have been having very good experiences, very good surprises with the vintages this year.
So with the 2020. So 2020
Yes,
was.
the 2020.
Ja. So, er hat gerade erzählt, das ist der neue Jahrgang von dem Wein wird gerade nächste Woche erst in die Flasche gepackt. Also ihr habt auch noch den 2019er, wie ich auch. Und dass die Ernte 2020 tatsächlich erstaunlich positive Überraschungen gegeben hat. Was man ja immer gerne hört, weil wir haben ja in den vergangenen Weinproben auch schon viel darüber gehört, dass andere Weingüter zum Teil auch Probleme hatten mit dem 20er Jahrgang. Von daher finde ich das schön zu hören, dass es hier mal ein Weingut gibt, das wenig Probleme damit hatte. If it's a new project, is it something like a joint venture that you, or is it a befriended winery, or is it, or did you just buy it?
No, it's a joint venture with a winery in Douro. So usually we work. Our philosophy is to work the vineyards and control all the production process from start to the end. But in the Douro, we didn't start like this. We decided first to do an approach to the market to create our brand and to try to see what we could do with the wines together with people that already work there, because the Douro is a special region, and we wanted to make sure that we are not special and very expensive. So first we have to make sure we are going the right way, we are doing the right thing, and see how the market responds to these wines, and and then decide to invest heads first. Like and also in Alentejo, we also had we were very careful. It's already 20 years there, but so we have now to be more careful and to go step by step to try to make the best outcome.
I think that's not the worst. It's a good way to go step by step. So you get to know your colleagues in the Douro, and you get to know the area and the terroir, and see how people react to it, like we do now.
Yes, exactly.
It's a it's a nice entry.
We have been having really good feedbacks. We still feel that there is room to improve, but I mean, and we started in a very difficult year. We decided nobody were expecting this, and the first when we launched the wines was March 2020. So everything was happening back then. So it was for us, it was a challenge, but the machine was already moving, and we went for it. And it would be much more difficult if we had invested already in the Douro, and we had like a big investment there with vineyards and everything in a time like this. So I think we did the best option. We are still making the wines and putting the wines in the market, and so I believe that it's soon enough we'll probably be doing some more things in the Douro.
Yeah, so probably the Dona Cepa was planned for the Pro Wine 2020.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I kind of missed the Pro Wine, you know.
Yes, and also this year we won't have Pro Wine again.
Yeah,
so it's going to be 2 years without visiting Düsseldorf,
which is sad in a way.
Yes. But well, I think that also next year, I hope that everything is already normal, and we can introduce new vintages, new wines, and still be improving.
Ja, also der Wein war ursprünglich geplant, dass er auf der Pro Wein 2020 gelauncht werden sollte, welche im März ist. Im März wisst ihr ja alle selber, was im März los war. Die Pro Wein wurde abgesagt, der Wein wurde zwar trotzdem gelauncht, aber natürlich nicht auf so einer Messe, wo es viel Publikum gab. Wir haben ihn jetzt trotzdem hier, weil ich einfach neugierig war und dachte, ach, alles klar, dann probieren wir den mal aus. Ich hoffe, er schmeckt euch. Und wir haben auch dieses Jahr im März wieder keine Pro Wein. Von daher werden wir wohl noch ein weiteres Jahr ohne viele Neuheiten sein. Aber so langsam kommen die ganzen Weinmacher und sind immer mehr, sag ich mal, froh über das Online-Format. Und da kommen in den nächsten Proben auch noch ein paar schöne Neuheiten, auf die ich mich schon sehr freue. Ich denke, das kann ich schon mal so als Ausguck in die Zukunft machen. Und I just told about the Pro Wine and that we are missing it. So should we move on to the next wine, or are there questions in the chat? Keine Fragen im Chat. So we move to the second wine. And maybe we can see some pictures of the winery when we start with the second wine. Oh, that's a nice picture.
Yes, this is what Alentejo is all about. So while in the Douro we have more higher mountains and the vineyards are much higher, here it's much smoother and much opened.
And that's
the cork tree.
Cork oak.
Yes.
What's the Portuguese name for the oak tree, for the cork?
The Portuguese name is Carvalho. We call it oak, and we call it oak tree basically.
Okay. Because I think it can only be collected every 7 years or something like that. If it's
9,
nine,
9 years.
okay.
9 years.
Oh, I thought it was 7, but 9 is even longer. Yeah.
Yes, maybe some forests are very professional and they can maybe have the right size of the cork they need in 7 years. It depends.
So that's a view of the winery.
No, this is in the winery. This is the view of the house that we have there for tourism in Alentejo. I mean, it's just for tourism, but not related with the wine. So it's a little bit exclusive. We don't have this advertised in touristic sites or so. So it's only related with the wine business.
So if I come there, I would sleep there.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Or you can sleep here too, in the middle of the vineyard.
Oh, that's fine too if it's warm enough.
But so we have the olive trees that we see there. It's next to the vineyard. It's all in biologic olive trees, so we also make some olive oil.
Yes, I know. I have it in my shop.
Yes.
Also was ihr gerade gesehen habt, war einmal das Häuschen war nicht das Weingut, sondern ist eine Unterkunft, wenn man im Weingut sozusagen zu Besuch ist. Also wenn ich da mal hinfahre, dann schlafe ich da, habe ich gerade erfahren. Ich war nämlich leider auf diesem Weingut noch nicht, weil ich war ja bei vielen anderen schon, aber bei denen war ich leider noch nicht, weil das immer terminlich nicht gepasst hat. Und im Bild habt ihr auch gerade Olivenbäume gesehen und das Öl habe ich auch bei mir im Zanzarelli. Das ist ein sehr schönes Öl, wird biologisch gemacht und ist auch im Vergleich zu dem italienischen Öl tatsächlich einiges günstiger. Kann ich sehr empfehlen. Und in der Küche vom Zanzarelli benutzen wir übrigens auch meistens das Öl aus Portugal. I just explained that we usually use the olive oil from your winery in the Zanzarelli in the kitchen. Because I always got the 5-liter things with my orders, and that's what we use in the kitchen.
It's I like it very much. I think it's very good quality. And I also use it all the time. It's not only that it's good, but it's also a natural product. And I think for when we want to eat well, we have to use good ingredients. And this olive oil is very good.
Genau, also er sagt auch, dass er das Öl selber benutzt und dass, wenn man gut essen will, dann muss man halt gute Zutaten benutzen. Und da kann ich nur voll zustimmen, das ist genau das, was ich auch denke. I just said it's exactly what I think as well. If you want to eat well, you have to use good ingredients. It's what I do in the Zanzarelli as well. Like.
Yes, I witnessed that already because I ate there once or twice maybe.
Right, you were there with Rolf. I remember.
Yes. Yes, regarding this wine now, I think is this one you have in the glass already, Sosa?
Yes, I have it in the glass already. It's a Tapada.
Okay.
It's a Tapada, exactly. Tapada Branco.
Yes.
Do you say Branco or is it the wrong?
Branco.
Branco. Okay, there it is.
So this wine in Alentejo we produce 3 levels of wine. One with no oak, another wine with the medium tire with some oak influence, like in the case of this wine. And the Reserva level, which has more time in oak and more structure. So, and this wine is made with 2 different grapes. It's grapes also very traditional from white wines in Alentejo, so Roupeiro and Anton Vaz.
Anton Vaz.
So,
yeah.
yes.
That's one I remember of the many grapes.
Yes, it's sometimes there are different names also for the same grapes in other regions as normal. And this is about 50-50 of each grape. But then some part of this wine is fermented in oak. So because we want to give some more complexity to this wine, we want also to have a little bit more mouthfeel. We want to have it also more aging potential. And so this, but without compromising the fruit. So we want the oak to be there, but just behind on a second or third layer, so that it's not very perceptible.
Yeah. So how many percent of the wine is in oak? About
around 20%. And the results, I think, is a very balanced wine. And Alentejo is very warm. We sometimes in the harvest time we have 40 or more than 40 degrees. So we have to harvest during the night. We stop harvesting between 10-11 a.m. So after that, it's too hot to harvest, and the grapes are very warm already. So we have to bring the grapes fresh into the winery. The winery is right in the middle of the vineyard, so it's very quick this process. And so like this, we don't need to do a lot intervention in the winery. So. The grapes are good, so we don't need to use too much things to make a good wine. It's also one of our philosophies for producing wines is that the wine starts in the vineyard, and in the winery we just should do the best that we can to don't spoil what nature gave us, so that we can have good wines and wines that we can drink. We don't make wines that are very expensive. It's wines that people can buy and appreciate and drink. That's what we want to do. Also, the vineyard is in sustainable protection. So this means that there's this certification, this symbol here that you can see right here.
Yeah.
It means that we are doing everything with responsibility in the vineyards, not only with the products that we use, but also in the protection of the ecosystems that also exist in a vineyard. So this is important to us because sustainability is the key to the future and to keep this business for the future generations, because this is a family business. It started with my father 40 years ago, and I wanted to pass it to my son and to my nephews, and that this business can go on for many generations.
So give me a second to translate this. I just need the name of the grapes again. One is Anton Vach and the other is
Roupeiro.
Okay.
Roupeiro. It means wardrobe in English.
Okay. So, die beiden Trauben sind Roupeiro und Anton Vach. Das sind typische portugiesische Rebsorten, die wir nicht so kennen. Die haben auch keinen richtigen Vergleich mit Reben, die wir kennen in Deutschland oder beziehungsweise von spanischen Reben. Das sind einfach andere Namen und zum größten Teil andere Reben. Es gibt wenig Übereinstimmung zwischen Spanien und Portugal. Das hat einen geschichtlichen Grund. In dem Fall sind 20% ungefähr im Holzfass, aber sehr sanft, sehr wenig, dass es nur ein bisschen mehr Volumen und Fülle macht und den Wein so ein bisschen weicher und ausgeglichener. Ich weiß nicht, ob ihr das, also ich finde nicht, dass man das Holz richtig rausschmeckt. Er hat trotzdem noch eine schöne Frucht in der Nase. Und hinten auf dem Etikett, was er uns gerade gezeigt hat, ist ein Symbol, weil sie sehr nachhaltig arbeiten. Und das ist ein Etikett dafür, dass das Ganze sehr nachhaltig ist, weil sein Vater hat vor 40 Jahren mit dem Weingut angefangen und er möchte es als seinem Sohn und seinen Neffen hinterlassen, damit die das weiterführen können, aber dass die Natur halt geschont wird. Und deswegen sorgt er dafür, dass alles möglichst nachhaltig ist im Weingut. Deswegen auch diese Zusammenpflanzung mit Reben und Olivenöl, dass das alles so miteinander ineinander fasst. So I just explained that the sustainability is one part of your project, and I think you can see it already when you plant like olive trees between the grapes or around the grapes, that it's a good mix to preserve the nature and to give room to nature.
Yes, it's important because many people don't think about it, and sometimes it just takes one other species to control other species, and you don't need like to use pesticides, or you don't need to use some other chemicals in the vineyard to have control over the bugs that may live there. So that's very important, and that we understand this, because the ancient people that were here before us, they already understand that for many years, and this knowledge were lost during this big transformation of the modern society and with the Industrial Revolution. The machines allowed us to produce in big scales that it was not possible to do it in the past, but we didn't thought that we could also learn and use a lot of these things, even producing in bigger sizes.
Ja. Also sie benutzen halt wirklich wenig Pestizide auch und auch die industrielle Revolution hat halt vorgegaukelt, dass das alles mit Maschinen machbar ist, aber jetzt wird halt viel zurückgegangen auf traditionelle Techniken, die einfach Sinn machen, die man nur zwischendurch ein bisschen vergessen hat. So, I think the wood is very nicely balanced in the wine. That you notice it's longer and fuller, but it's not that you're like right away say, "Oh, that's with wood." It's very subtle. It's very smooth and supple.
And that's always what we pretend, because we are making wine in Alentejo, and why? Because Alentejo has a good climate. It's warm. So, and this will bring the fruity character to the wines. So it would not make sense to be covering this with oak. Yes.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
And one the Vinho Verde, which we taste later, the Vinho Verde Rosé. But the Vinho Verde that we also have in our shop is one of our most successful wines that we sell. So
yes.
I'm quite happy with it, and I quite like that the quality in all the years. I think I have it. I think at least 10 years now. I'm not sure if I have 10 years full now. Maybe it's 9. I don't know. I
something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and I like that the quality is always like good and getting better. It's always like a tiny bit better than the last year, and I think that's a good way to see how something progresses over the year.
Yes, we always try to learn and improve. And for me, it's a big problem, because every year I have clients that ask me, "So how is the wine this year?" And I said, "It's very good, probably even a little bit better than last year." And they say, "Oh, you always say this. You're just saying this so you can sell wine." But it's the truth. We are just trying to improve every time. So it's very good that I can say this, but it's the truth.
Yeah, we noticed that. It's always, we always when the new vintage of the Vinho Verde comes, we open a bottle and we're like, there's something a tiny bit different, but it's better. So
yes. I think also the same, and it's very interesting because it makes you to keep trying it, and every year we try some improvement, or in the vineyard or in the winery, and to try to make it better. This year we are setting up a new bottling line that will also bring extra quality, I hope, in the wines, but that we will always only start to see more later in the year when it is ready. Yes.
That's good to know. So are there any questions in the chat?
Na, ich sage nein, keine Fragen, aber hier wird sich noch gestritten, ob der erste oder zweite besser war. Es liest sich wie gerecht verteilt.
Okay, das finde ich spannend. Okay, there's no direct question in the chat, but there's a lively discussion going on if they like the first or the second one better, which I think is good. I like if there's like a discussion about things, because everybody can have their own opinion, you know, as long as they know what they like.
It's true. It's true. And sometimes different wines match with different experiences. Is this could be food, could be a moment during the day or in the end of the day. So it always depends on the mood that we are. That sometimes a wine will taste differently just because. And nothing else.
Yes, I know. The mood is different, the wine can be different as well. So
it's true. So the best wine will always be the last one after tasting 6 wines.
We will see. Yeah, so we move to the third wine, if you like, to the Alvarinho.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an impressive bottle.
Yes, it's a big, very big bottle. Sometimes I have problems with this bottle because people want to put it in shelf or to put it in the in the small fridge, and it's always a problem. But at the same time, so on the other hand, people will also remember which wine they drink because it was from that tall bottle.
Yes, I know.
And they remember.
The funny thing is when I sent out the wine via post, you know, the bottle was like very, you know, I had to press down the box a little bit so I could close it because the bottle really fits the whole box. It makes a little, you know,
lump. Yes.
But it worked. It was sent out and I think it arrived. So.
Yes, and I think that for the people that still doesn't know the Alvarinho or this Alvarinho, probably will have a good surprise. This for us, this wine was very interesting because Alvarinho, in the first place, Alvarinho, it's a very interesting grape variety, and during some time people were associating this variety with Germany because the wine is called Alvarinho. So if you separate the word, Alba means white, and Rhinho means the Rhine. So people were saying that this was a white wine from the Rhine, which it didn't. Many people was associating with the Riesling, but it's very different.
It's quite
from
different,
the Riesling.
yes.
And yes. We know, and already the DNA tests to the varietals, and they found out that they are completely from different families. But this wine is very known to be grown in the north part of Portugal, near the border with Spain, and also in the Spanish part of the border, if that's say like that. So in that area where was all the Alvarinho grown, and about 12 years ago or something, we decided, more 15. Time goes by very quickly. 15 years ago, we decided to have an experience, to have experiment this varietal here in our area. We are in an area which is close to the ocean, is the southern part of the Vinho Verde region. The soils are in schist, not in granite like in the rest of the region. And we thought that we could make a difference and to add something to this grape. The first year we produced this wine, I sent it to a competition, international competition only for Alvarinho wines, and we had a gold prize.
Wow.
For the first year. So we were very happy because we thought that we are making a different Alvarinho, but it's Alvarinho that has potential, and we are going in the right direction. And since now, the Alvarinho has been recognized almost every year with important awards. And it's a wine, it's a white wine that ages really well. I have here behind me in the cellar bottles with 8 years, 10 years, and they are still good to drink. Of course, it's not this fresh and young profile. It's a more developed, but much more rich and much more ripened Alvarinho. It's a very interesting grape.
So, die Alvarinho-Traube kommt eigentlich aus dem Norden Portugals, an der Grenze zu Spanien, und auch im spanischen Teil wird Alvarinho angebaut. Es ist ein bisschen die Königin des Weißweins in Portugal und in Spanien. Der Name Alvarinho setzt sich zusammen aus Alva, weiß, und Rinho, Rhein, also weißer Rhein. Also es meint schon den Fluss Rhein. Aber genetisch, also er wurde auch immer ein bisschen verglichen mit Riesling, aber genetisch hat sich herausgestellt, dass es eine komplett andere Familie ist. Also komplett andere Genetik dahinter. Und vor 15 Jahren haben sie beschlossen, warum sollen die das nur im Norden anbauen? Wir holen das jetzt zu uns und bauen Alvarinho an, weil hatten sie einen Teil, wo die Erde ein bisschen anders war, ein bisschen mehr kalkig, wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe, und haben da Alvarinho angebaut, und schon das erste Jahr, das sie rausgebracht haben, hat er gleich einen Goldpreis gewonnen. Also es war ein Wettbewerb mit nur Alvarinhos, und da hat er seinen eingereicht, und das sind meistens Blindverkostungen, und da hat er gleich Gold gewonnen. Und auch jedes Jahr kriegt er Preise, obwohl er eigentlich nicht aus der traditionellen Alvarinho-Gegend kommt. Von daher spannendes Tröpfchen. Is there some wood included, or is it worked out? It's just steel?
Just steel fermentation with some batonnage, but there is no oak elements.
Very nice.
Is the 2019?
No. I think I have the 18. I have to check.
Okay.
Let's see. I have my glasses not here, so I have to see if my arm is long enough. Sorry, please look at your... ich denke, es sollte jeder auf seine Flasche gucken. Ich kann es gerade wirklich nicht lesen.
Should be somewhere
here. Huh?
17.
Oh, we have the 17.
Okay. Oh, it's the same as me. I also have the 17 here.
Oh, then it's good. Now we have the 17. And I'm getting older, and without glasses I can't see small things anymore, which is a kind of damn it.
Yeah. Or your arms are getting smaller because you cannot put your hands very far.
Yeah. I think that's not the reason, but well. No, well, there's, as long as the technique works, that there are glasses that work, everything is fine. It's just so, it's a little bit frustrating that you have to remember to get them near you when you need them.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you said it's ages well, so 17 is still young for a wine like this.
Yeah, 17 should be really interesting. But it has already other concentration. The fruit is still there, the acidity is still there. We start to get a little bit more mellow, and and sweet and dry fruit also at the same time, but the balance should be amazing. This having in mind that for a wine that we can age, we use natural cork, and it's very important. In the wines in Germany, we use screw cap in most of the wines for consumption, not wines not to keep. But in Portugal, we use cork, but it's called a technical cork, designed to be free of the TCA, of the cork aroma. But these corks work very good, but they don't last a long time in the bottle. So you have to use it in wines that are made to drink very young. But in Alvarinho, we use natural cork.
Oh, there I have a question, because we saw the oak tree before. Do you produce your own own cork as well?
No.
No?
No. We leave that to the professionals.
Okay.
That it looks like a very simple thing, but it's very complex. I have been visiting some factories of cork, and it's not as easy as it looks at the first sight.
Yeah, I heard that it was there was like a sickness of the oak trees a couple of years ago, and once because of the long time they need between the harvest, there was many old people dying making the harvest in between, and the young people never could do it before, because there was nothing to harvest for a few years because of the sickness, and so they had really trouble having enough people to still know the technique.
Yes, I think I believe that. I didn't hear this, but I believe it's something that the new generations don't work and don't know the technique for this. Usually now no one wants to work in agriculture. I don't know how in Germany is, but in Portugal it's very difficult to find labor, to find people to work in the vineyards, or to work in the cork trees, or these kinds of jobs.
Yes, I think it's the same problem here in Germany, because they are getting people from Poland or Romania to harvest the spargel, asparagus. And stuff like that. So I think it's a problem all over Europe that people don't want to do the hard work.
Yes, and because it doesn't pay probably very well. Because if it was jobs well paid, there would be people willing to do that.
Yeah. The problem is nobody wants to pay a lot of money for a kilogram of asparagus or grapes or anything.
It's true.
So that's a trouble. But I think if you want to eat well, you have to pay well for things that are worth it.
Yes.
So
that is true. That is true, and also so that you can have a guarantee that what you are eating, it's in reality what you are expecting or what they tell you it is. That is very important.
Yeah.
The origin, and that's the good thing about the wines, that for many years the origin certification in the wines is important. Well, and it comes also in a sealed container, which is the bottle, and that really helps to preserve the qualities.
Yes, of course. And it's in this case, it's also a dark bottle, which is really good for the white wine, that it keeps better, that there's no light influence.
Yes, it's true. It's also one of the ideas. This is not a Portuguese bottle. This is an Italian bottle, by the way. But the fact that also I don't know if you can see that the bottle has this part of the neck that is straight. So we have a big area of sealing of the cork in the bottle. There are some bottles like these that they start to come directly from here to opening, so you have a very bad sealing between the cork and the wall of the bottle.
Yeah.
And that is important when you have a wine for aging. You have to make sure that the bottle can hold, or the cork are made for each other.
Yeah, perfect. Let me quickly try to remember what we talked about so I can translate it, because we went on a little bit long. So, also es geht nochmal um die Nachhaltigkeit und auch um den Kork, der in Portugal produziert wird. Also die Eiche, die wir vorhin gesehen haben, sie ernten selber keinen Kork, das überlässt er den professionellen Korkmachern. Aber es gab vor einigen Jahren einen Pilz, der die Ernte zerstört hat. Und in der Zeit sind viele von den, also es dauert 9 Jahre, ich dachte immer 7, aber es sind tatsächlich 9 Jahre zwischen einer Ernte und der nächste, um einen guten Kork zu ernten, der dick genug ist, um eine Flasche zu verschließen. Also es muss ja schon so 5, 6 Zentimeter haben. Und in diesen 6 Jahren oder 9 Jahren bis zu der nächsten Ernte nach dieser Krankheit sind halt viele von den alten, handwerklich wirklich guten Männern halt gestorben und konnten ihr Handwerk aber nicht an die Jungen weitergeben. Das heißt, da gibt es halt jetzt so einen Generationensprung, dass es nicht, also dass es halt schwieriger wird, die Korkeichen halt auch zu ernten. Und bei seinem Weingut ist es so, die Flaschen in Portugal selber werden mit einem günstigen Kork, also einem industriellen Kork, wo die quasi so gemacht sind, dass keine korkigen Weine sein können. Also die sind halt quasi gesichert, dass da also dass dieser Korkpilz nicht drin ist, der die Weine korkig macht. Und werden in Portugal mit diesen Korken verschlossen. Das sind halt günstige Korken, nicht also die sind halt dann für Weine, die nicht lange aufgehoben werden. So, da reden wir von zwischen 2 und 5 Jahren. Wenn Weine länger lagern können, haben sie halt einen richtigen Korken, so wie ihr den jetzt in dem Alvarinho hattet. Und für den deutschen Markt sind aber die meisten Qualitäten, die zwischen 2 und 5 Jahren getrunken werden sollen, mit einem Schraubverschluss, weil das der Markt inzwischen akzeptiert hat in Deutschland tatsächlich. Das hat lange gedauert in Deutschland mit dem Schraubverschluss, dass der tatsächlich sich etabliert hat. Aber die Fehlquote von korkigen Weinen ist halt viel, viel geringer, wenn es mit dem Schraubverschluss ist. Aber es geht halt alles wieder in genau diese Richtung, was wir schon drüber gesprochen haben, halt die Nachhaltigkeit und dass man das halt auch ein bisschen, dass es halt länger ist. Und auch in Portugal ist es tatsächlich für die schweren Arbeiten schwer, junge Leute zu finden, die das noch machen wollen, genauso wie hier bei uns in Deutschland. Okay, I think I had a good summary of everything we talked in between.
Okay, very well.
Noch ein paar Fotos?
Yeah, we have some more pictures of the winery, so we can show it in between.
Yes, this is Estremoz, is the city next to our vineyard. With it's a very old city. It was a military city, and it was close enough to the border from Spain. So because there was a lot of action going on here in 500 years ago.
Yeah, there's quite. I mentioned it earlier in between. There's like a grape gap between Spain and Portugal because of the political history between Spain and Portugal. There was not much travel of the grapes in between these two countries.
Yes, except in Galicia in the north, that there was much more cooperation. Even in the language is much more similar to Portuguese than to Spanish.
Okay. I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yes.
So you have quite red earth there. That's like mainly which kind of earth?
There's a lot of schists, but in this area, but specifically, there's a lot of clay too, in mixed with the schists. why this color. But this was in the first years of this vineyard. To have to see this color right now, it's not very easy.
Okay. So clay is Lehm and schist I'm not sure about. I think it's I have to remember what schist is. I hope I get it in a moment, or somebody knows it in the chat. But I can't remember right now. So maybe I get it in a moment. So when it rains, it gets all very clumpy and
I think
sticky.
is in German is Schiefer.
Oh, Schiefer, yeah, sure. Now that you say it. Okay, also Schist ist Schiefer und Clay ist Lehm. Und das sieht man ja auch auf den Bildern, diese rote Erde, das ist schon sehr lehmig. And does it rain in the summer at all, or is it just the rain in the winter?
Only in the winter.
And then it stores in the clay in the earth, and hopefully it lasts for the summer.
Yes, but we still have some water supplies that we gather during the winter, so that we can have some water for the summer.
Okay. So you have some cistern.
Yes. Yes. Well, more than one actually. Now we even have a plan, which is a plan that works for us in this sustainability and legacy of the business, to make a big reservoir of water, and to try to fill this during the winter, and to have water. And this will also bring a lot of life around it, for the vineyards, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
And it's curious to talk about the rain and this. And this year so far was we never seen the biggest rains for the last 20 years in Alentejo.
So
last week it rained a lot.
So you have a good reservoir for the next summer.
So yeah, so far there is a lot of water. Let's see, because if the summer is very hot and dry, it will be all gone very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the last 2 years were very hot here as well for northern Germany. And we just had like the largest snowfall in the last 10 years. It's all gone now, but that's a lot of water that got into the earth. So hopefully nature here is refilled a little bit as well. So maybe all that we got as snow, you got as water.
As water, yes. Yes, I'm glad we don't have snow, because we wouldn't know what to do with snow here.
Yeah, because a couple of weeks ago there was a lot of snowfalls in Spain, and they were all like, "Oh God, we have snow."
Yes, and still Spain, as sometimes it snows in the highest areas, but here in Portugal we don't see snow ever. It's I remember it snowed once when I was a kid, and maybe another time like 20 years ago, and that was it. And snow, we are talking about this this very thin slice.
Just some powder.
Yes.
Yeah. So should we move to the Vinho Verde Rosé? It's one of my favorites, actually.
So which vintage you have from the?
It's the rest of the 19. I got the 20 already in my storage, but we still have to drink up some 19.
Yes.
Which is funny, because usually in the last years the Vinho Verde Rosé was always empty first, and the Vinho Verde was second, and this year it's turned. The Vinho Verde got drunken a lot, and the Vinho Verde Rosé still there's some
Still have.
19 left.
Or maybe
But
you buy more rosé this year. Maybe you bought more.
but we're talking about a couple of weeks, so it's very it's just one of our wines that we sell a lot. It's just one of our most popular wines.
And I understand this wine. I personally, I'll make a confession. I don't appreciate rosé wines. For me, it's white or it's red. Rosé, there's something in between. But I have to admit that when we have a Vinho Verde rosé, it's so much fun that I really don't care if I'm drinking a rosé wine or not. It's just fun to drink, and because of these little pétillance, it goes, and the acidity, it goes so well with food too. I can have this wine with so much different. For example, the rosé, I love it, and it's not very common pairing, but roasted vegetables with this wine is so good. And also a little bit of sweetness that this wine has allows us to pair also with very spicy food. And again, I would go to this Thailand food that really would pair very well with this wine.
I can imagine that, because in Thai food you have this special Thai basil that's a little bit different from the usual basil, and I think that would fit very well.
Yeah.
And I have to compliment you on something that happened last year when you made the bottle new, and it's the same bottle now than this Vinho Verde.
Yes.
We were like waiting for years for that to happen, and we are really happy that it's now the same bottle.
Yes, it was already many people asking for this, and it made sense. In the beginning, was more difficult because we had the rosé was part of the varietal collection, and we had the varietal collection in the Bordeaux bottle. But then the rosé started to become so popular, and as a Vinho Verde, so that it was always together with the white Vinho Verde and rosé Vinho Verde, so it made more sense to make them from the same family than different.
And I have to ask the grape again.
Is a Touriga Nacional and Espadeiro.
Say again?
Espadeiro.
Espadeiro. Okay.
Perfect.
I'm not so, as soon as there's a sh sound in the Portuguese words, I'm getting confused, because it's like sounds that doesn't work like that in German usually.
Yes.
And I can probably not repeat the word, but Touriga Nacional is like the one of the most notified red grapes in Portugal.
Correct. Yes, it's a grape which is probably the main grape in the Douro, also one of the main grapes in the Douro region. In Alentejo, there's also Touriga Nacional everywhere, and lately in the Vinho Verde region, because it was not a grape that we would see a lot in the Vinho Verde, but now with this new form of viticulture, because in the Vinho Verde we used to have the vineyards in pergola, so the grapes were on the shade; they didn't get a lot of sun. But now we do it in the single rows. So there's much more sun getting into the grapes. We have better ripeness, and the Touriga Nacional came. We bring it to the region, and especially to make rosé wines, and it's working very, very good.
So is it 50% of each grape or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Espardeiro.
Potato.
Okay, I have to remember. Also der Wein besteht aus zwei Traubensorten, einmal Touriga Nacional und einmal Espardeiro.
Yes.
Das ist eine Traube, die ich einfach nicht kenne, aber die Verteilung ist 50% jeweils. Und Touriga Nacional ist so ein bisschen die Rebsorte Portugals. Sehr, sehr hochwertige Weine. Also wir haben auch einen von Dorina Lindemann bei uns im Regal. Das sind halt Weine, die altern können. Das sind besondere, tiefe, dichte Rotweine. Aber es macht halt auch diesen zarten Vinho Verde Rosé jetzt. Ich erkläre das gerade nochmal. Rosé ist immer eine Rotweintraube, wo die Häute der Traube nicht sehr lange auf dem Wein gelassen werden. Also der wird gepresst, dann kommt der Saft raus. Der Saft ist meistens farblos, also weiß. Und wenn dann die Häute von den Trauben ein bisschen mit draufgelassen werden, wird er rosa. Weil die Farbe des Weins sitzt in den Häuten der Traube. Und so, je nachdem, wie lange man die drauf lässt, entsteht ein tieferes Rosa oder ein zarteres Rosa. In diesem Fall ist es halt so ein zartes Lachsrosa, was im Moment sehr modern ist durch ganz Europa. Aber beim Vinho Verde ist es eigentlich traditionell immer so zart. I just made a little bit detail about rosé. That rosé is always made from red grapes, and that it only gets the color from how long the skin of the grapes stays red. Of course, in contact. Of course, not everybody knows that, so I made a little explanation on that. So there's a new picture, but I don't know why.
Ich habe das Espandejo gehighlightet.
Ah, okay. Also unsere freundliche Technik hat mal kurz die Rebsorte rausgesucht und euch eingeblendet. Vielen Dank dafür an Michael. Wenn ich den nicht hätte. Okay, that's a harvester, right?
Yes, this is a vineyard in the Vinho Verde region. Here, so we can see now that we have like the vineyards in a single rows, much more sunlight, so much more easier to use machinery, and this came to is a big revolution in the Vinho Verde region, because the plots used to be so small that it would be impossible even to put a machine in the vineyard, because even the path to arrive to the vineyard would be too small for a machine.
Oh, okay.
So this was like the biggest part of my father's legacy, is that he started to put all the terrain together, so that he could have a scale, and that he could make a more modern viticulture. Mm-hmm. And this allows us to start to improve the quality of the wines right in the beginning of the process.
Mhm. Also da seht ihr jetzt so eine von diesen Erntemaschinen, und das ist das Erbe, was er von seinem Vater hat. Sein Vater hat angefangen, die kleinen Weinberge, die viel zu schmal waren, um so eine Maschine zu benutzen, zusammenzulegen. Also sprich, irgendwas wegzutauschen, was dazu zu tauschen, damit ein großes Feld entstand, damit die Reben so angelegt werden konnte, dass man überhaupt Maschinen benutzen konnte. Früher waren die Wege selbst zu dem Weinberg so schmal, dass eine Maschine da gar nicht hinfahren konnte. Also das ist sozusagen das Erbe, was er von seinem Vater übernommen hat, dass der Vater das alles modernisiert hat. Oh, that's interesting. What's that?
This was an example that here in the region of the Vinho Verde, you can see these big boulders of granite. They are everywhere, and this is a region that granite is almost 100%. Except from us, we have a vineyard in granite for the red grapes, mm-hmm. But all the rest of the white grapes are in schist, which is very uncommon on this region.
And there's like a house built between two boulders.
A house built. yeah, someone didn't want to build all the walls, so they they just used the boulders to serve as walls.
One of my hobbies is to climb and to boulder. So this would be the perfect holiday location. You could just walk out and climb a little bit and then go back in.
So you can enter by the chimney, like Santa Claus. And this is our vineyard. The last images from our vineyard in organic vineyard that we have for the bio wines. It's already an old vineyard, and we have this only to make experience with organic wines.
But that's like, is that like the pergola that was a traditional, or is it something else?
This was a traditional style, but this is a corridor, a pathway. So this is but on the sides it's already normal pergola, or even some parts are already modern with modern with the 40 years, but with a different type of training, not the regular pergola.
It looks very nice.
Yes, especially in a summer day that you can rest
in the shade.
Yes.
Very nice. So, gibt es noch Fragen im Chat? No questions from the chat. But vielleicht sollten wir die Frage stellen, vielleicht mag der Chat das irgendwann beantworten. Welcher von den 3 Weißweinen war denn euer Favorit, jetzt wo ihr den Alvarinho auch im Glas hattet? Gab es da schon vielleicht ein Ergebnis oder eine Diskussion? Das würde mich nachher interessieren. Ich frage dann nochmal. I was just asking the chat to tell which of the whites, now that they know the Alvarinho, is their favorite, so they can decide. But I really think the Vinho Verde Rosé goes well with a lot of things.
Yes,
as you said. But so maybe we should switch to the reds now.
Perfect. For me, it makes sense.
So we go to the Dona Cepa. Cepa? Cepa.
Cepa.
I will remember that at some point. I just have to, speak a lot before it goes into the brain. I have to say it again and again, and then I remember at some point. So what do we see in that picture?
So the previous picture was in Viana do Castelo, and it's the views from the top of the hill where they have this church overlooking the beach, the coast. And here is a little bit more inland, but also in the Vinho Verde area. And here you can see how agriculture is in around here. So very small pieces of land. Here the vineyard size, it was the average size was less than half hectare. So you can see like this is very difficult to produce wine. So there is why there is also a lot of cooperatives that they buy grapes from a lot of different people, but they cannot control the quality of the grapes so well. And especially now that the new generations also are a little bit more disconnected from the agriculture, and it's every time is more difficult to have quality grapes unless you grow them yourself.
Yeah. The picture before, it almost looked, it reminded me of something like a Chinese rice field.
Yes, correct.
It almost looks like a picture from there. If you didn't know, it was like, oh, it must be in China or something.
China, Vietnam, something
like
that. No,
it's interesting.
It's Portugal.
I didn't know that. Chris, I've been to Portugal last when I was 18, and then I was in the at the coast, very down south. So, and to Lisbon, but that was like a trip when I was 18. So, I never been back to Portugal after that.
It was not that long ago, so
Well, quite some time, but and I was on Madeira as a child, like in 78, like very shortly after the Rose Revolution. So it was a different Portugal back then, I think.
oh yes, but it was even 10 years ago was very different. So Portugal is becoming a very interesting destination. Porto, especially, has been like the number one destination city destination in Europe for the last 2 or 3 years. There's a lot of people coming here and to live here. It's interesting. I just hope that we can keep the balance between the old and the new. That's what makes this place special. So and regarding the Dona Cepa Tinto,
Yeah,
this is yes,
I like the smell already.
yes, this one is I like it very much. So here the grapes are the Touriga Nacional. And we also have another grapes in the blend. It's a wine that is also made in the Douro. There is a lot of grapes here, but the main grapes that we can take from here, it's grapes that are also very typical from the Douro. And here we have the Touriga Nacional, the Touriga Franca, and the Tinta Roriz.
Ah,
Tinta Roriz, it's called Tinta Roriz in the Douro, but also it's called Aragonés in the Alentejo,
and it's called
or
it's
or Tempranillo
in Spain. Yeah,
Spain.
I just wanted to say that. Yeah, yeah, it's
So
one of the
it's,
many names.
Yes, so you can see Portugal is a very small country, and in two regions, two different names, and probably there is some more different names somewhere else. So it's I like this wine. You have this good intensity in the nose. You feel the fruit, the red berries, and even some strawberry. It's the tannins are firm but not very astringent. There's some smoothness and also some nice complexity in this wine. And of course, there's always this nice Douro acidity just wrapping up and giving balance to the wine.
It's quite complex.
It is. It's a very. I like this wine very much.
It's very nice and very drinkable. So how's the percentage of the grapes? Is it like 50% Touriga Nacional, or is it like?
It's Tinta Nacional around 40 to 50%, and then Touriga Franca and Tinta Roriz, it's around 10 to 15%.
Very nice.
It's a very good blend. Also, this is a very traditional blend in Douro. So we also wanted to make sure that we were having blends that made that there was meaning on this, and we wanted to do classic Douro approaches. Wanted to identify with the region.
Yeah, it's very. I like that the etiquette is so simple. You know, like just writing white and you see the grape on it, like the It's very simple.
The vineyard.
The vineyard, yeah. And it's like an old vineyard that you see, so it's very nice and simple. It doesn't it doesn't do a big thing. It's very simple, and usually I tend to like things that are very simple, and you don't get distracted with many things on the label. So you just see what's important, the name and the grape,
the origin.
the origin. So, which is
It's true.
which is quite nice.
Yeah. So and this wine, there is no oak. So it's wine that we have the whole fruit, and it's just a wine that, according to our philosophy, needs to be drinkable, needs to be you drink. You don't want to drink only one glass. You want to drink
A second glass,
the second glass.
which is good.
Yes, I mean that's what it's supposed to do. So it's supposed to make you have pleasure in what you are drinking.
Also in dem Wein haben wir, wie gesagt, 3 verschiedene Hauptreben, aber es sind auch noch ein paar andere mit drin. Hauptsächlich Touriga Nacional, Touriga Franca und Tinta Roriz.
Roriz.
Und das ist ein anderer Name für Aragonés, und Aragonés ist ein anderer Name für Tempranillo. Also den kennt ihr dann aus Spanien, das ist die Hauptrebsorte Spaniens. Verteilung sind 40-50% Touriga Nacional und jeweils so 10-15% vom Touriga Franca und vom Tinta Roriz. Und der Rest ist dann halt so eine Mix aus den anderen Rebsorten. Sehr klar, sehr, sehr straight, und es gibt halt diese typische Durosäure, wurde das beschrieben, dass die so gegen die Fruchtigkeit steuert. Also sehr ausgeglichen zwischen Frucht und Säure. Ich finde, der Duft hat auch echt sowas sehr, sehr Schönes von so Waldbeeren, muss ich sagen. Vielleicht riecht ihr auch noch was anderes, das dürft ihr gerne in den Chat schreiben. Sehr schöner, angenehmer Einstiegswein, und er sagte gerade, der lädt noch zu einem zweiten Glas ein. Also wenn ihr euch nachher entscheiden müsst, wovon ihr noch eins trinkt, vielleicht ist es dann das hier, mal sehen. Schauen wir mal. Und ich finde halt auch, deswegen hatte ich die Flasche gerade nochmal vorgeholt, dass das Etikett so schön klar ist. Es ist halt der Name, die Region und dann noch die Traube, also quasi die Rebe mit drauf. Es ist einfach sehr, sehr schön klar und übersichtlich.
Couch oder einen Abendwein zum Essen?
Also was zum Essen oder? Okay, the chat is asking if it's a wine that's more fitting for the couch, to sit on the couch and drink, or to have it with some certain food.
I think it's always very personal, but for me the ultimate wine to drink in the couch is Alentejo, because it has a little bit less acidity, and therefore probably is better to drink without any food. Douro, like this, usually has a little bit more high in acidity, so probably you want to have something with it, but still they are two wines that are not too much complex. You can enjoy them very easily and have fun drinking them also in the couch. Yes, I can say because I did it already, so I know what I'm talking about. It's you can perfectly drink this wine by the couch, but also has potential to food pairing, like all Portuguese wines. I think it's important to say this. Portugal is the number 1 country in the world with the wine consumption per capita. So this doesn't mean that we are drinking all the time, but we drink only with food. We only drink at the table with food. Mm-hmm. So our wines are very gastronomic. Mm-hmm. So they are always made to pair with food, because they have more acidity or less fruits or this or that. So the balance is perfect with food for these wines. They are not too much aromatic or too much flat, so they're always meant to be to pair with food. Of course, there are good wines can go beyond that.
Yeah, so we move on to the last of the wines, which is one of my favorites. It's a Tapada Tinto. We have it.
Yes.
I think when we started to order Vinho Verde, it's one of the reds that we had almost like from the start, and we had it in tastings before. When we did it in our shop with at the table and with the menu, and because usually we have our small shop with a lot of people in it, and then we do tastings with a 3-course meal and people try the wines in between. And the Tapada Tinto was always one that was winning the show of the evening when we did tastings like this. So I'm curious if it's a winner of the show this time as well.
Yes, I hope so too. I mean, all the wines are winners here because they're all mine, so I made them all my babies. But this to end this beautiful program. So the images we're seeing now is from Douro, and then now we are going back to Alentejo, which is you can see here Douro is much more dramatic in the landscape is much more. There's much more altitude than Alentejo. Alentejo is all much smooth and more quiet and more calm. It's almost like a different place. And this wine translates this a little bit because it gives us what the wines in Alentejo are. They are wines. In the first place, and again because of the heat, they have a lot of fruit. The tannins are very ripe, so very smooth. The wines are round. We have more alcohol too, because also because of the temperature. And again, we have to be very careful when we harvest these wines because if the maturation goes past 1-2 days, we already have this effect of burned fruits it goes away, it goes to the other side very quickly. So we need to be very careful with the maturation so we can harvest in the right moment.
On the point.
Yes. And this is why also in Alentejo we have to use machinery to harvest so that we can harvest very quickly and during the night, because we cannot have people harvesting during the night because it would be difficult or almost impossible. And after 1 year, people won't have fingers left to hold the scissors.
Probably. Yeah, the scissors are very sharp. Yes.
Yeah, and this wine is also a blend, and is also for some people ask me why there is the vegan symbol in the wine. This was because some clients asked us to put. And we already had many people asking if the wine was vegan. I was getting emails every week asking if the wine was vegan. So we decided to put this certification. It means that we don't use any animal or animal-derived product in the making of the wine.
So it was always vegan, but you decided to put the label on it so people know right away.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Also der Wein hat ein veganes Zertifikat, weil er so oft danach gefragt wurde, ob der Wein auch für Veganer geht. Und er war die ganze Zeit, also er war eigentlich immer vegan, aber da die Frage so oft kam, hat er sich irgendwann entschieden, das Label drauf zu packen.
Yes, and so and regarding the grapes, we have the main grape is Alicante Boucher. which is a French grape, but we don't see it much in French. We see it more in Spain and Portugal. And it's a grape that loves the warm climate and has a lot of color too. This is why we see this wine is darker.
Yeah.
It's a very dark color. We have also the Touriga Nacional again, also the Aragonés, and the Trincadeira. So this is almost like a field blend from what we have in the vineyard in the Alentejo. Also, part of this wine stays in oak. So it's not new oak, it's like second year oak, because we always use the new oak for the reserva, and then the following year it's for this wine. So, but it's also like 20% of the wine too that goes into the oak. And again, here we are trying to preserve the aromatic freshness of the wine. So, and the oak here is just to have is to do what it should do, but in the background, to give a little bit more mouthfeel, to give a little bit more aging capacity, a little bit more complexity, but not more than that. It should not do more than that.
Okay, der Wein ist aus Alicante Bouschet. Das ist eine Rebsorte, die eher aus Frankreich kommt und auch in Spanien angebaut wird und in Frankreich gar nicht mehr so vertreten ist. Dann ist es Touriga Nacional, was wir schon hatten, und Trincadeira. And there was a fourth that was... What's the other one?
Touriga Nacional.
Yeah, I had that.
Alicante Bouschet.
Yeah.
And Aragonés.
Aragonés. I forgot the Aragonés. Because I remembered the Trincadeira. So it's Aragonés, also wieder ein bisschen Tempranillo, also die portugiesische Variante.
Right.
And it's that 4 grapes und 20% davon sind in Holzfässern gewesen, allerdings zweite Belegung. Die erste Belegung ist für die Reservas. Das heißt, diese Holzfässer die werden halt mehrfach benutzt. Ich weiß nicht, ob ihr das wisst. Wenn die neu sind, ist das Holz halt sehr aggressiv und sehr prominent und sehr, dass man das sehr stark schmeckt. Und wenn das eine Zweitbelegung ist, dann ist es eher nur so ein, man merkt, dass es ein bisschen Holz hat, aber es ist nicht so überbordend und nicht so im Vordergrund. Und da es jetzt nur mit 20% gemacht wurde, ist es halt auch, man merkt noch die natürliche Frucht von den ganzen verschiedenen Rebsorten und so ein bisschen mehr rundes Mundgefühl und Länge kommt dann durch das Holz. I tried to explain the mouthfeel and the 20% of the wood.
Yes, it's important not to ruin what nature gives us. It's one of the advantages of Alentejo, and Alentejo, it's all about fruit and roundness. Also, the tannins are very smooth. The acidity balance is there, but very well balanced. And the alcohol, these are wines that have a lot of alcohol. We're talking about the 14% alcohol, but we don't feel this alcohol in the mouth. It's very well blended in the wine.
Yeah, it's very smooth and very round. I think you only feel the alcohol when you start to leave the couch after the second glass.
It's true. It's true. So, and this is why I was thinking that probably Alentejo is more easy to drink in the couch than in the table, because of this smoothness and the tannins are round, so you don't. It's not like a big Australian red that there's smoothness, but there's a lot of concentration. So you need maybe to eat something or eat some steak. No, this is a little bit more soft.
Very smooth and soft, and I really like the color. It's really glowing purple. It's very nice.
Yes, this color, the Alicante Bouschet has a big role in this color. It's one of the few grapes that have the red skin and red flesh.
Very nice. Very fruity. Very
juicy,
round and juicy. Yeah. Sehr rund und sehr fruchtig und sehr saftig.
And I think it's like a really nice profile for if we think about wine from Southern Europe, and we should immediately think about heat, roundness, and volume and smoothness. It's probably what this wine is all about.
Yeah. So, are there questions in the chat? And is there a decision if they like the Alvarinho or the Cepa or the Tapada best?
Na, es war bei den ersten zwei Weißweinen noch ausgeglichen, bis dann der Alvarinho kam. Und der liegt schon weit vorne.
Ah, okay. Was zu erwarten war, oder? The decision about the Dona Cepa, the Tapada Branco or the Alvarinho was at first they were like saying the Dona Cepa or the Tapada Branco was like balanced, but when the Alvarinho came into the glass, it was all about the Alvarinho.
Yes, and especially already 2017, because it's already a different kind of complexity than new Alvarinho shows.
Very nice.
Very well.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see what a big a variety of grapes Portugal has to offer, and I think Portugal is still one of Europe's best kept secrets when it comes to wine, because it's when you read the papers, it's all about the wine papers. It's all about Italy, France, Spain, but Portugal is like. People know it exists, but they need to be reminded. And I hope I was able to remind people what a big variety of grapes Portugal has to offer. Because I think it's still a bit of a secret, even if I don't know why.
I think that from on one hand is that the grapes names that are very difficult to say, so also difficult to remember. And if you say I'm going to try some Aragon, I'll just stick with the Chardonnay or something like you already know, very very familiar. It's probably more easy. So that this is always working against the Portugal. But I think that in time we will get there, because as long as people keep trying the Portuguese wines and discover them, and knowing that we also make very good wines despite they cannot pronounce the grapes, I don't think that's the most important. The most important is to drink wine and that the wine tastes good and that gives us pleasure. That is the most important.
Yeah. Ja, ich habe gerade noch mal gesagt, Portugal hat halt eine große also unglaublich viele verschiedene Rebsorten, die wir kaum kennen. Und es ist immer noch eins der bestgehütetsten Geheimnisse Europas, weil die meisten Weinzeitschriften berichten über Frankreich, über Spanien, über Deutschland, über Spanien, aber ganz, ganz wenig über Portugal. Weil, und dann hat er mich auch nochmal bestätigt, ja, was ist, weil die Rebsorten so schwer auszusprechen sind und man sie sich nicht so gut merken kann und es gibt so viele davon. Aber die Zeit Portugals wird kommen, weil die Weine einfach toll sind. Und das muss ich auch nochmal bestätigen. Die Weine sind einfach super gemacht, sehr schön rund, bezahlbar, sehr viel bezahlbarer als das, was man im Glas hätte, wenn man den gleichen Preis für einen für einen französischen Wein bezahlen würde. Also das Preis-Leistungs-Verhältnis ist bei Portugal einfach viel, viel besser als bei allen anderen Ländern Europas. That's also like a point for Portugal. The price of the wines is always like nicer than of the others. Which should bring people to drink Portuguese wine. Of course, the Vinho Verde is just for a price where you can buy 2 bottles, except only one if you choose another country.
Mm-hmm. It's true, but that's also part of the problem, because then people look at the price and they say, probably it's not that good because the price is lower. Well, it's so. I think the best that we have to do is to keep showing people the wines because the price is higher, so people are not going to buy because it's for the same price they can buy another thing. There is always a lot of different ways to go, but I think that's so it's time. It will just take time to get people to know.
We're working on it.
Yes, and thank you very much for your commitment and for your enjoyment of Portuguese wine, and that you also like to give people and your clients to know it. And I think it's good to have someone like that. In my perspective, of course, but if I was your client, I would like that my wine shop would show me good quality wines with good prices, of course.
Well, I have to give the thank you back, because if you just make great wines and it's a pleasure to sell them, because the quality rises every year, and the prices are constant. I don't have to give a rise of the prices every year, which happens with other wines. And I think that also is a good thing for my customers, because they know what they are getting, and they know that the quality is good. So thank you for making such great wines.
Thank you. It's for you that we make this, and it's a big effort because every year the prices go up, the bottles are more expensive, the labels get more expensive, and we are just trying to make everything right and to work the best possible way so that we can keep the prices, because we feel that's important. And especially if you are a Portuguese wine producer, you have to make things right at the first time.
So before we close up, is there any more questions in the chat that anything that anyone wants to know? Nothing? Okay. I think the chat is happy. So
okay.
Yes, I can only say thank you again for making such great wines. Please keep on working in this way.
Yes.
I think we will see each other for many years. Hopefully next year on the Pro Wine, if it happens again.
Hope so.
Else we just have to come visit you, if that's possible again. The last news of Portugal weren't so good concerning the COVID, so I hope the numbers go down now again.
I hope so. They are getting down already, so it's nothing that a good confinement does. We're already for 1 month into it, so it's resulting, it's working.
So, and hopefully next year on Pro Wine we are all vaccinated and can go out again into the world.
Yes. Also, my vaccine here.
Yes, disinfect is very important. And you always have to, smell and taste if it still works. So you can't have COVID if it still works. So it's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So, very well.
Thank you.
So
thank you for your wine.
Much. Thank you very much, and hope to see you soon too.
And stay healthy.
Okay. Yeah, you too. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So stay in line. We can still hear you, but the customers can't.
Ich dachte, du sagst noch unseren Gästen Tschüss.
Ach so, ich sage noch, ja, natürlich sage ich euch noch Tschüss. Ja, vielen Dank, dass ihr heute alle dabei wart. Es hat mir sehr viel Spaß gemacht. Schön, dass so viel rege Beteiligung im Chat war. Das macht für mich immer, ich bin immer beruhigt, wenn ich merke, oh, da sagt jemand was, weil das ist schön für mich, eine Reaktion zu kriegen, weil auf meinem Live-Weinproben sonst kriege ich die Lacher an der richtigen Stelle und die höre ich jetzt blöderweise nicht. Und vielen, vielen Dank, dass ihr heute dabei wart. Es ist mir eine große Freude, diese Tastings zu machen, weil es ist halt im Moment der einzige Weg. Und ja, bald kommt der Frühling, dann machen wir noch mehr davon. Und Prost. Einen schönen Abend noch.